Congress finally passed a major bill that addresses one of Americans' biggest problems, and it just so happens to have the support of both parties. But about an hour before President Trump was set to sign it on stage today, he hit pause because he wants another unrelated and much more controversial bill passed first. The bipartisan bill the president was supposed to sign is aimed at making housing more affordable for Americans, increasing the housing supply by making it harder for institutional investors, Wall Street, and corporations to buy up single-family homes. But then Trump posted that he wouldn't sign the legislation until Congress passes the Save America Act. That's that election security bill, a sweeping piece of legislation, sometimes controversial, that would add more requirements on Americans going to vote, including voter ID requirements and proof of citizenship. Republican leaders have made it very clear, including directly to President Trump during a closed-door lunch on Capitol Hill, that they don't have the votes to pass the Save America Act. But Congress was easily able to pass, with overwhelming bipartisan majorities in the House and Senate, the 21st Century Road to Housing Act. There's something in there for everyone. That's why it had so much support across the political spectrum. This bill was a big deal, in part because it showed Congress can actually still find common ground, at least sometimes. In the past few years, two of the biggest pieces of legislation that Congress passed, Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill Act and Biden's 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. They were massive bills that touched on a ton of different areas. This bill is different in that it's much more narrow, primarily addressing one key issue, one which many Americans say is the key economic issue they want the government to address. Trump said the housing bill was, quote, of minor importance compared to the Save America Act, despite it being the first time in decades that housing legislation like that has passed Congress. Speaker Johnson just this morning emphasized how important it is for the president to have some progress on the elections bill.
We're delaying this. As you know, he has a window of time before he has to sign a bill, and he's going to use a little bit more of that window of time, and we're going to go through this together.
Similar sentiments were definitely expressed by President Trump to Senate Republicans, according to the senators that we spoke to. But here's the thing. The president may say he won't sign the bill, but as long as Congress is in session after 10 days, that bill will automatically become law. It also has very much a veto-proof majority.
Would you veto it?
About what?
If the housing bill that you didn't sign today that came
No,
to
I
you
said I'm not signing the housing bill. I want to see what happens with it. Look, the housing bill is housing. I made billions of dollars with housing. I know housing better than anybody, maybe anywhere. It's all about the interest rate. Lower the interest rates, you can have all the housing you want. But you have to understand, I don't want to hurt people that own houses too. These people, for the first time in their lives, they have valuable houses. They become rich. I don't want to hurt them either.
Sir,
what you want to do is what good for everyone? Get the interest rates down. We have this numbskull that was the head of the Fed before, and he's a stupid person. And we call him too late because he was too late with the interest rates all the time. We need low interest rates. Low interest rates will solve everything. We'll solve that. Now, despite that, we're doing well with housing. But where we're really doing well is oil is plummeting and costs are coming down. Affordability, we're doing great. The Democrats gave us a tremendous affordability problem, and we're reducing prices a lot.
Look, I'm sorry. If you're asking me to get into Donald Trump's head and figure out what's going on there, you need somebody else. I don't have any idea. This just doesn't make any sense other than whatever it is he wants to do. It's a complete indifference to the cost squeeze on American families and to genuine efforts to do something about it. You know, he could be over here trying to claim a victory lap, and instead he's saying, no, he doesn't want anything to do with it. It's because he really doesn't care about American families and doesn't care about the fact that prices are up and the promises he made to lower costs on day one have not only come to nothing. Prices are higher on groceries, prices are higher on health care, prices are higher on virtually everything that Americans buy because of Donald Trump's policies.
This housing bill, it was bipartisan, and it was seen as a way that it was going to help out potentially young home buyers who can't afford it right now. Do you think there's any political risk here in canceling this ceremony just at the behest of the Save America Act? This is something everybody wanted.
As someone who worked on the Hill, I would give almost anything to be a fly on the wall in a congressional Republican's office right now. Trump just announced that he is refusing to sign the incredibly popular bipartisan housing bill unless the Senate can pass his controversial Save America Act, which does not have the votes to get done. This comes as Republican approval ratings are tanking over the issue of affordability, as Trump drags us into an unpopular war with Iran, driving gas prices up on working class folks who already cannot pay the bills. This was their only real chance to deliver on the issue of affordability, and Trump seems willing to throw that away very publicly for his own extreme agenda. I guarantee you, Republicans in toss-up districts right now are absolutely melting down. And later today, Trump is set to have a private lunch with Senate Republicans, and I would love to get some reality TV cameras in there for that.
Even Fox News is stunned because Donald Trump, out of nowhere, randomly announced that he is refusing to sign the bipartisan House Affordability Bill. There was an afternoon signing ceremony set for this bill called the Road to Housing Act, but now Trump is leveraging it as political hostage to force Congress to pass the Save America Act. Fox News personalities expressed genuine shock, questioning the political logic of canceling a rare, broadly popular bipartisan win just months before the 2026 midterms. He also completely embarrassed Republicans in Congress like Representative Tom Emmer, who was actively praising the bill at a live press conference, bragging that they were the party that governs and delivers, completely unaware that Trump had killed the ceremony on social media minutes earlier. Now Trump is traveling to Capitol Hill to pressure Senate Majority Leader John Thune to force the voter ID law through. The Road to Housing Act bars large institutional investors or corporations owning 350 or more single-family homes from outbidding local families and buying more properties. Its goal was to help young people afford a house. It passed the House yesterday in a landslide after clearing the Senate, being co-authored by Republican Senator Tim Scott and Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. But out of nowhere, Trump posted on Truth Social calling this bill the Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren-centric housing bill that is of minor importance compared to his attempt to steal the 2026 midterms.
Hey MAGA, how many times will your mans have to spell it out to you that he does not give a good goddamn about making life easier for you, making things more affordable, changing the way the system is at the moment when it comes to housing and affordability? How many times? This is what, probably the fourth, fifth, sixth, who knows how many times has he spelled it out for you through the past few weeks that he just does not have any sort of regard or any sort of urgency to make things better for you. And I'm being so for real here. I'm going to try not to do any name calling in this video again. How this man is showing you exactly who he is. What us on the left have been telling you all since 2015. But y'all just choose to willingly just put your blind loyalty in him. And he's telling you straight up, affordability and housing costs and the ability to buy a home for a reasonable price. Your most important expense in your life is having a shelter over your head to keep you protected from, the outside elements, to keep you and your family safe. And, it's something to call your own. It's an asset that appreciates when done right. But yes, how many times does he have to show you that that's not a priority of his? Why he's just like, nope, I'm not doing it. I want what I want first. F these regular poor people. F these people that can't afford to get a real house and have something of value in their lives. Where there's so many people of all ages that are desperately wanting to own a home. This man is standing 10 toes down and telling the nation, America, all of the adults, all of the people that put their blood, sweat, and tears into working and trying to get their quote unquote American dream of owning a home and, having something to call their own, a place to lay their head, as something that's of minor importance to him. Where he ran in 2024 telling you all that was willing to believe him, that, again, give all of their faith into him, telling that was one of the pillars of his campaign and what he was going to do once he's in office. This man has not made anything affordable to y'all. Now, how many excuses are y'all going to come up with? Now, all of a sudden, he wants this SAVE Act to be signed into law. before he even will think about the affordability deal. I should say the housing bill. It's just not making sense at this rate. This man is telling you, like, in so many words every week. It's almost been something every week that he said about not caring about making things better for, it's not even F Democrats. He's telling y'all F to MAGA, F y'all to MAGA. But it's just absolutely insanity. And this is the crazy part about it, is about the fact of election fraud and voting, like what you have to, the identification you have to provide when voting. That has never been an issue in any of the previous elections before 2020. Hell, that wasn't even anything he mentioned in his 2015 election. It took this man losing for y'all to lose y'all, excuse my French, shit over election fraud now. I'll have some screenshots coming across the screen of just about how low the actual amount of election fraud that has been found over the past few years. I do want to mention this before I forget. In my previous video, I also mentioned election fraud, and I incorrectly mentioned that, there's absolutely none. And when I said that, I presented that incorrectly. I should have emphasize the fact that widespread election fraud is not a thing. Yes, we have an imperfect system in pretty much everything. I mean, nothing is ever going to be perfect. But the numbers I have coming across the screen, they really show it only for the swing states. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. It was kind of like a scrolling table. So hopefully the actual amount of reported cases and discovered cases will show you how minuscule the actual number is. I mean, you don't have to believe what I believe, but I just want you to sit and think about this. For those who are older and have voted in many elections in the past, when has any other president made it such a big deal about election fraud? Yes, it was happening in the 60s, 70s, 80s, every decade you could probably insinuate that there was some fraud, because things happen. It's an imperfect system. When there's millions of people involved, something is going to happen, just like crime happens absolutely every day in the country, right? But you don't have to let that be something on the top of your mind just because the person you voted for did not win in 2020. Look at the numbers on this chart. These numbers in the whole state, and these are over years. This isn't even from the most recent election. If you could see in the table, I hope it's able to reflect and you're able to see it. But these are over 20 and 30 years of elections, or I should say the amount of elections that have been held. I think both are displayed, but it's just a few dozen in each state. Now, of course, when you probably account for all 50 states, it'll probably get to 1,000 and something. But think about millions of people. Is any of this anything to make or break an election? Now, of course, I'm not going to say, oh, that's okay, just because it's a little bit, it's okay that it happens. No, I mean, I want it to be as close to zero as possible. Of course, I want it to be fair. I want people to trust in the process. But Trump is making it seem like to his people in MAGA that it's millions of people that get to vote and they're not citizens, or they shouldn't be. When that's just not the truth. There is no widespread, keyword, I really want to emphasize it this time, widespread election fraud to where it could make or break an election. Think about it. This is the type of stuff he started a whole insurrection for and wanted to make you believe it was stolen from you. Where after all of the years, not even just one election, this is from decades of elections, or at least dozens of elections that have happened in this state. This is the numbers that they come up with. None of them even reach 1% state by state. Probably when you add them up, they will surpass 1%. But when you look at each state, it's 0.000 something. This is what this man wants you to stress out about and make it seem like this is more important than you being able to afford a roof over your head, for your children to someday work hard and afford a roof over their head without corporate entities and venture capitalists. I'm not sure if they really do it, but I'm just saying, just any type of millionaire, billionaire entity to just buy up homes and jack up the price to make you have to come out of your pocket while they are pocketing that money and getting richer. This is what he wants you to be nervous about. But we all know it's because he wants to make sure that that election is as close to being won by the Republicans in all of these states as possible. He sees that a lot of these seats are getting flipped, or a lot of these primaries are having like a huge turnout for Democrats. This is why he's trying to get everything put into place. And even besides that, even if he really wanted to, he could still sign this, thankfully, for the Constitution, which he wants to abide by so much. We have to be law and order, right? Thankfully, the Constitution protects it to whereas, let's see if he tries to veto it. You never know. We'll see tomorrow. You never know what happens day by day with this man. But thankfully, within the next 10 days, it'll just automatically become law. And that just is something as well. He could sign it. Like, who's to say like they still wouldn't be able to? I mean, it's looking like it's impossible. I don't want it to be signed into law, but we still have a little over 4 months before the election. Like, why couldn't he sign it and still urge like Congress to still look into the bill if it means that much to him? Both could be done. Why does it have to be this highly unlikely bill to be passed first before something that was a bipartisan bill that was passed, like overwhelmingly? Like, and this might be the only bill that ever gets passed overwhelmingly bipartisan, but this is the one he chooses. And it's really funny because I heard about this on the radio when I was getting into work, and this was about 8:30, and I was like, oh, wow, I haven't heard about this. He'll finally actually do something for the people for once if this goes through without any issues. Almost 2 hours later, almost to the minute, I get a notification from Apple News saying that he canceled the signing. I was like, I knew it because he wanted to get this SAVE Act passed first. I knew it was going to be something. This man just is allergic to doing something good for people that does not involve his ego or wanting stuff done on his time. I say all of this to people in MAGA that are willing to hear an opposing view. Those who are just closed-minded think Democrats are going to destroy America. This isn't for y'all, because y'all are just going to think what you want and you're going to debate on some stupid facts and stuff that y'all made up and you just heard some random influencer say. So this isn't for y'all. But even going back to influencers, let's stay on that. The fact that Fox News was surprised that he didn't sign it, oh, that's speaking volumes as well. Even Caroline Leavitt, his own press secretary, was like, oh yeah, promises made, promises kept, or whatever she said. So she was even expecting him to sign it. So he must have blindsided everybody with this. How long are y'all going to go before y'all start putting the pieces together and holding him accountable for this? Y'all are already crying about other things being unaffordable, like gas. Thankfully, gas is coming down, but groceries, rent, everything else is so much more expensive. And that's what he ran on, was to make things cheaper. On day one, he had the audacity to make this unrealistic promise of day one, and he hasn't even done it on day 500 something. I don't even know if we're at 500 something yet. We probably aren't. It's just been 18 months, but y'all get the point. I'll see what the new excuse is going to be. Like, let's see what's going to happen, because I mean, this was bipartisan. So what are even the MAGA influencers going to say? They're going to just probably all jump on the train saying, oh, the SAVE Act is so important now. Like, we've been having all of these primaries and no mention of like trying to get the SAVE Act pushed through. And I really wish they would pass this in a way. And don't take that as me wanting to to disproportionately affect, if it didn't, let me say it like this, if this SAVE Act wouldn't disproportionately affect black and brown voters, like I would almost want them to pass this because I would want to play into MAGA's bluff and to see how many of these people actually have birth certificates and passports. I want to see, I would love to see y'all scramble to try to get citizenship documents to try to vote. I have my birth certificate. I have my passport, so I'm ready. Do you have yours? I would love to see it. But at the end of the day, I don't want this to pass because it's too many people that would be affected by this. So I just feel that it should just stay dead in Congress and not move any further. But that's just my opinion. Everybody's free to have their own, but I think that would be really funny just to see. I would love to see videos when it comes to November. Let's just say they actually pass this. I would love to see MAGA people walking out mad when they realize your ID wouldn't be enough to go through with voting anymore. Because let's face it, the majority of MAGA would have no idea this would even pass. So that's why I'm kind of like, should we play into their bluff and let them pass it? I would love to see it because just like, I feel like just as much as I would hate to see it, it would affect black and brown people. I feel like it would affect a lot of them too. Remember, these are the people that didn't realize Obamacare was the same as the Affordable Care Act. So I would be willing to place some bets on that. But like I said, I just really, for the most part, want it to stay dead. I don't want this to be signed into law. I think it's, it's still kind of risky to make people displaced and not be able to vote because it impacts mail-in voting and stuff like that too. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but I'd love to see it. I really would. Guys, if you made it this far, I appreciate you as always. I know it's not easy to get through my talking and my yapping, but I love you guys who are able to stick around. But yeah, that's all I have today. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found any value from this. It would be also appreciated. Not required, of course. It is free. And yeah, that's everything that I have tonight. So I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Bye. See you later.
They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it, so that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people.